What is up, everybody? It's Natalie from Live Naturally Natalie, and today I'm going to be talking about the effects of stress. It is kind of interesting to know what effect stress really does have on the body, because you probably know that stress can lead to chronic disease, stress can help you to not lose weight, and probably a host of other things. So I'm going to go through and get a little bit more nitty-gritty and just break down a couple more things just so you have an idea. And not to scare you again, but just so that you're educated and you know by hanging on to stress and anxiety, or, being in that chronic state of stress or anxiety, these are some things that can be happening in your body that you probably don't want to happen in your body. First thing, the effects of stress on the body. You can have increased cortisol production, which is associated with weight gain. Nobody likes that, especially in the belly. So you'll notice, side note, if you happen to just randomly think of someone in your head that tends to, again, I'm not judging, okay? Let me just throw that out there. But if you see someone that tends to have like a bigger belly and sort of like smaller legs, that's usually an indicator that they carry a lot of stress whenever you see someone with that body type, because the stress causes the weight gain, cortisol, more in the belly. It can also hinder your weight loss journey. So if you're trying to lose weight, it can hinder that. It can also lead to premature aging, which none of us as women want in our lives. Other thing stress does is it has decreased nutrient absorption, which we kind of talked about yesterday, because our digestive system shuts off and it sends all of our blood flow to our arms and legs. The digestive enzyme production, we have decreased bile-flow from the gallbladder, as well as decreased oxygenation and gastrointestinal blood flow. As you can tell, I don't have this memorized. I'm reading it off a list, so that's why you see me looking up. I'm not that smart, just have a lot of cool tools. Another thing that the effects of stress has is increased nutrient excretion. So stress can increase the urinary excretion of calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, chromium, selenium, and other various trace minerals. And we need those trace minerals in our body not to go out of our body. Another thing that it can do is decrease our gut flora population. I'm not going to get all into gut flora and all that craziness, but basically there's all kinds of good bacteria in your stomach that you need. And stress can decrease that. And a lot of times when we don't have all that healthy bacteria in our stomach, that's when we can tend to get more sick, have skin disorders, nutrient deficiency, digestive distress, and like I said, all kinds of immune problems. So that gut flora, that healthy bacteria is really important. You want to keep that there. Another thing that stress does is it increases in sodium and fluid retention, which can lead to high blood pressure or hypertension. It also decreases in thermic efficiency. All these flashy terms, which basically just means your ability to burn calories is diminished, and nobody wants that. It can also decrease in your thyroid hormone. It can decrease the body's metabolic activity, which we talked about yesterday, how if you're eating under stress, then your metabolism isn't burning things as fast. It can also increase in your blood can also increase in blood cholesterol. So stress raises LDL cholesterol levels. It can also increase in blood platelet aggregation, which means that's a major risk in heart disease. There's your translation. Also decrease in sex hormones. It can lower your sex drive, your energy, and decrease muscle mass. It can increase in inflammation. And as you know, or may not know, they always say a lot of disease and things come from inflammation. So we definitely don't want to increase inflammation. It's also one of the main ailments that are for brain and heart disease. It also decreases in gastric emptying time, which can lead to constipation and be a risk factor in diseases of the colon. It can also increase in gastric emptying time, which can lead to diarrhea, where food particles prematurely enter the small intestines, which can be a probable factor in food sensitivities and other various disease conditions. Another thing is you could have increased food sensitivities, and those are most likely due to decreased immunity and leaky gut, which I'm not going to get into leaky gut. That is a whole other enchilada. If you want to look into leaky gut, research it on the internet. Another thing it does is decrease hydrochloric acid production. And the majority of people experience a reduction of stomach acid in the presence of stress, as the nervous system, again, diverts the blood flow away from the digestive organs. That fight or flight, chasing a bear thing we talked about yesterday. It can also decrease in growth hormones. So a key hormone in growing, healing, and rebuilding tissues, and it helps burn fat and build muscle. So we don't want to decrease our growth hormones. It can also increase in insulin resistance. So chronic low-level stress can target cells to become unresponsive to insulin, which is a factor in diabetes, weight gain, heart disease, and aging. Another thing it can do is increase an erratic function of the LES, which is the lower esophageal sphincter. I feel like I'm getting my pronunciation today. The lower esophageal sphincter, LES, opens inappropriately and can cause gastric reflux, which is aka heartburn. Another thing it can do is increase in oxidative stress, again, prematurely aging the body, which is a precursor to many diseases. It can also increase your risk of osteoporosis. Your bone density has been shown to decrease in stressed and depressed women. So stress increases the urinary excretion because, as I mentioned before, stress increases the urinary excretion of calcium, magnesium, and boron, all very important things for your bone density. Okay, so again, my goal wasn't to scare y'all today, but I feel like, it's important to know what stress can do to your body, because sometimes when you really understand, that can also kind of help you make a change and start shifting in the other direction and really start saying, okay, like I need to deal with this. I don't want premature aging. I don't lose my bone density. I don't want to have all these problems just because I'm stressed. And I know it's easier said than done to just, well, I'm done with stress. Like, I get it. It doesn't work that way. Like, I've dealt with it for a long time. But by doing little things over time, the more you do those and then slowly build on those, you'll start to see a huge difference from, maybe when you started at the beginning of this week, or maybe even in a couple months when you keep up with this. I've actually had someone that I was coaching say, how in the world are these little things going to make any changes in my life? Like, I'm barely doing anything. And then 3 months later, she's like, oh my gosh, I've made so many crazy changes. Like, I didn't even know. Small steps are the things that are going to sustain you, not big, huge steps. So this is not like, forget all your stress, overhaul your life, you're done. That's not what this is about. This is little tiny steps. All right, my friends, thanks for watching.